I'm the first speaker from the pro side. And myself believes that this house believes that movie studios should focus on creating entirely new original characters. My model is that we will encourage movie studios to create new original characters instead of changing the story of old characters. I'm moving on to my arguments. My first argument is that rewriting legacy characters only creates fake, shallow representation, while original roles deliver a minority storytelling. Studios change legacy characters' identities mainly for marketing points, not sincere respect for groups. When they swap a white princess into a black actress, the whole original plot, cultural context, and character goals are still written in the old white version. The minority actor is just placed into a pre-written white-centered story. In contrast, original characters are built from scratch by creators from and represented groups. They get to write their own cultural backgrounds, personal struggles, and life experiences. A fully original hero or Asian female lead carries real lived cultural stories, not a white old plot with a new skin. True representation is letting minorities own their narratives, not squeezing them into old stories designed for other identities. Rewriting legacy roles sees audiences into thinking it is diversity is achieved. While original characters provide meaningful representation that empowers marginalized communities long term. So my other argument is that altering legacy characters damage irreplaceable cultural heritage and destroys artistic integrity of classic work. Legacy characters are cultural symbols formed over generations. Millions of audiences grow up with fixed emotional connections to their original identities. James Bond's whole story logic ties to his original background. When studios randomly switch the gender or race, they break the internal logic of the original story. The remake becomes inconsistent, confusing, and loses the artistic charm that makes the legacy famous in the first place. These classic IPs are shared cultural heritage, not blank templates for studios to adjust casually for profit. If studios keep rewriting legacy characters, no classic stories can be its stable core. However, original characters do not harm existing classics. They open brand new story spaces without ruining decades of cultural memory. We can keep all beloved legacy stories while exploring unlimited new stories through original creations. In conclusion, rewritten legacy rules equal token diversity and broken cultural classics. Original characters bring representation and protect our cultural heritage. The benefits of prioritizing original creation far outweighs remaking legacy characters. Please vote for the pro side. Thank you.
I am the leader of the opposition party. Um, we discourage and disagrees the topic that this house believes that movie studios should focus on entirely new characters rather than remakes. As always, I am going to frame the argument first and then give my arguments. For clarification, our team is not banning the idea to make new characters. Instead, are going to prefer making classical remakes. We need to prove that classical remix is better, while the proposition team is going needing to prove that a world is best with no characters, with no characters that are remade. Our first claim is that by creating new remakes, we will be able to save money for movie producers. These characters have minimal changes compared to the classic ones. Have similar scripts. Simpler scripts, and everyone loves these classics and would support them because these films are very classical to the world, which They can reduce loads of money for better films with better quality. Secondly, the impact is that they would have earned profits for better equipment, better films, better technology. After finishing their films, they will also be popular after, and like they will also bring a generation of memory for the past. This is a this is a great situation for both the filmmakers and the audience. Remembers their the audience remembers their memories, and the filmmakers profit from it. Therefore, the concept wins this argument because it's a very effective way for the filmmakers. Additionally, these additionally um remakes are also promotes gender, race, and background equality for everyone. Not a specific gender or race has the specific identity. It promotes freedom for every type of people to focus on. So those movies promotes the values that everyone is created equal, no matter who they are. Who will they become? These films are bringing additional profits, audiences, and values into the film. This impacts audiences across the world, which is really important as it brings worldwide worldwide customers into the industry and supports the company. Therefore, the opposition party wins this argument. Therefore, our values and traditional classics would bring more customers to the to profit. Due to all these reasons, proud to oppose. Thank you.
So I am the second speaker from the pro side, and from our side, we strongly said that we should create more original characters than remaking legacy ones. First, I will start with the rebuilding to my teammates. My teammates stated that switching a character story confuses what makes the character's legacy in first place. This is very important because when we remake a character over and over and over, the society will likely go bored, and that time the character might not be legacy anymore. So we should protect them. We should respect those old characters while remaking new ones. Now moving on to my rebuttals. My opponent said that remaking legacy characters reduces money, and we can also make more exciting movies. This is true, but isn't important because sure you will earn a lot of money and it's a more exciting movie at a short amount of time. But when you see it in a more wider view, it decreases the economic growth and the creation that what could have like beyond remaking legacy characters. Secondly, they stated that remaking legacy characters promotes freedom to every choice. This is true, but this isn't important also because rather than making a character like making Snow White over and over and over again and trying to make it more and more exciting, we should also think about to create more characters that is our own, to create a history that isn't just belongs to Disney or Hollywood. Now moving on to my arguments. As the pro side, we strongly think that remaking legacy characters is like stopping in a point at history. My reason is that firstly, we should create more characters and icons, not only changing Ariel back and forth or Snow White into a white person or a black person. We cannot change because you need to change, but invent and create a history of our own, like Pop Mart's IP Labu. And secondly, we should also respect the story, the moral, and the origin of the legacy characters and innovate the new ones. Rather than stopping to make multiple Snow Whites or Batman, we should also try to think far more. Rather than giving the audience surprises that are already known, we should give them surprises that are unknown, which is more thrilling. In conclusion, the impact is that when you make something that is your own, you are also leading the history rather than endlessly changing and old characters that one day will be ignored by the society. We should also start a new point of the history and make one thing our own. For these reasons, please vote for the pro side. Thank you.
So as the second opposition speaker, I am first going to like extend on my teammates' points and like try to rebut the proposition's rebuttal. So about the economy, because we are trying now to say that it actually brings more media stability. First of all, using like already established characters help maintain media stability because the characters already has a huge fan base. So like we can like try to manipulate this fan base to create like more profit for the companies because there are already a lot of people into the character and these people will go to watch the movies. And creating new characters is a huge risk. Of course, after many movies and after many cartoons created, a little go viral, a few only. That's why it's a huge risk. Altering new characters is a mix between these established ones and the new one, meaning low risk for high rewards, which is exactly what we want standing on the economic side. And the impact is more money, more profits, and obviously a better economy. So now moving on to my rebuttals, they basically are saying that these remakes characters damage cultural reputation, but these shows and these cartoons and these films are already filmed and it already has a higher reputation. We are not damaging it, we are actually improving it because trying to make more shows of the same character means that we are respecting, we are admiring the character and like how great the character is and how yes, accepted.
So
There's an echo, sorry.
like you said that making you changing the stories of already made characters just improves the story of this character. But there is I mean, this is an example. So is turning Snow White into a vampire improving Snow White?
We're not turning Snow White into a vampire. I never said about anything about that. So I think that this is extremely illogical about you saying this so hilarious thing. So let me continue on my uh rebuttals, and then you are still saying about like damaging cultural reputation and these things, but and you're also saying that you need to lead your own history, but I don't see why this is important in anyhow, because this history is a history of the world, and you're not individually, and we need to like collaborate with and build on this strong base that is made by our ancestors and like the powerful Disneys and Hollywoods, as you might have mentioned. And you also says that you're stopping at a point of history, but that's definitely not true. We're improving history. We're improving the past for the future, technically. So, and you also say that society will go bored watching these, but this is actually the choice of these the filmmakers, because they will measure like if the society will go board, because they are actually the filmmakers. They can calculate the society's trends, what they want to do, and etc etc. So technically they will not get bored so easily. And yeah, I addressed the economic side that you rebutted, and I did a lot of rebuilding, a lot of rebuttal. So, Judge, please vote for the opposition. Thank you.
And first, I am going to my rebuildings. The opponent tried to rebut that creating characters is a high risk. But we have believed that this is not important, because if you had seen that a character which you really like about the skin turns white into black, but you will feel awful and you won't watch the. So it won't make the economy good for this movie studio. Okay. And you have also talked about the history, and I believe that the old people, they like to watch old movies. For example, the for example Let me think. Do you like to watch old movies, for example, about 红楼梦? Okay, and next, we had talked about that wording
Sorry,
legacy character.
are you going to accept or deny my POI?
POI, okay, accept.
Okay. So are you being racist and discriminating because you said that you will feel awful if you look at a black Snow White?
Yes, because it have changed the characters. It had changed the skin of the characters. Yeah. Okay. And so we have talked to you about the students have changed the legacy of characters and mainly for the marketing points. And we have also have talked about that rewarding legacy characters is like shopping in a point at history. Stopping in a point at history. So wait a minute. Oh, okay. I will do my summary. Our team present to the argument about that we should respect the story, moral, and origin of the legacy characters and make new ones. Yeah, and make new ones. In conclusion, we believe that this has believed that movie studies should focus on creating an entirely new original characters rather than changing the standard race or background of existing legacy characters in remakes. Thank you.
I'm the opposition whip speaker, and I'm now giving organized clash points, give rebuttals, and give rebuttals. Oh no, the example. I will first give my rebuttal. Proposition started is with like very extreme and confusing examples. For example, turning a white character into a black character, and so like those legacy characters doesn't really exist. So the proving is not very true. And so moving to my clash points, is it clash points one? Which is the most key clash point? Is it a destroy of character or is it just a natural cultural evolution? Our government's team stated that it will destroy characters, but we don't think in that way because that's the change in characters doesn't affect as much as they think, and it is just another way show. Okay, POI.
Yes.
Okay, wait.
It's like
may I just
you said that-
finish? Okay. May I just finish my clash point and then you can do it.
Okay.
Okay, so building legacy characters is just another sign of showing natural cultural evolution. So it is basically improvement on characters' quality, right? Improve on characters' quality. Okay, you can say your POI.
It's like you said that you're not damaging the legacy characters, but have you ever thought about different companies make different stories of this character, and then the society will get confused. So then they will be confused about what the original character is.
Oh, so okay. Wait. So if in this case, wait. So it doesn't really like matter as much as you think. Like having different copies of the same characters. So yeah. So moving on to my clash points, second clash points. Is it creativity more important or making the legacy characters better? Okay. So the government team claims that people will feel like very boring because of like the characters repeating. This point is true, but like legacy characters is just another way to improve and develop the characters or the culture in the better way rather than spending more money and more time to gamble the character for if the people would like it or it can earn much profit. So most people in the society will like older characters but not like newer characters, so it is just like it is very normal for like people not creating legacy characters but not like creating new characters. And that's all. Thanks.
So basically, we have pushed the proposition into some showing like their weak points. First of all, they are basically just systematically structuring their arguments on like something about damaging cultural heritage and damaging history. But we're, as we have already stated, like we stated several times, we are actually improving history in many ways because of like our modern technology. We can do like better things that the past creators have done, and we can have like more high-tech features. We can add more exciting elements, and even if someone wants to like recall the original thing, they can just go back again. So it is actually not that confusing. And we have also used a POI to determine if they are racists, and definitely. But so anyways, what first of all, they say we need to respect uh their their history and the culture of the characters. Yeah, we do respect them, but like as our policy, let me go back to our policy that our first speaker has said. We're not going to ban the creation of entirely new original characters, and this means that we can still keep the benefits of the original characters, so that now we only need to defend like why and how like the new characters, the remake characters are bad. But we are, as we have already done that throughout the whole debate, like practically in every speech. I believe that we have won the major points in this debate. So for all these reasons, proud to oppose, and please vote opposition ballot. Thank you.
I am the reply speaker from the proposition side, and so I will first start with the comparison from our team's arguments to the opposing team's arguments. Firstly, our side focuses on invention and creating a unique history that is one company's self. However, on the other hand, the opponent's argument is they focuses on a short-term economics instead of seeing that the more meaningful way to construct a new cultural worldview is to invent but not innovate based on a character that has been told 1,000 times. We think that if we put the same time rather than remaking a new another legacy character, why don't we put the same time, the same money into inventing a new character? Which one is more meaningful? Moreover, our side will state again that when we remake a legacy character, sure, from a short-term view, it's good for us and for society. However, when we see it from a long term, then it is not so useful to the economic growth or to the business of movie making. Henceforth, when we make new characters, it is more likely to maintain the heritage of the legacy characters and also to make sure that the new characters will be leading the history. We should make the original classicals to be remembered by our next generations, and also let them to see a new world of unknown where we can invent rather than innovate. In conclusion, we think that the pro side wins because we strongly stand by the motion, since that the world needs to maintain the original, the legacy characters that constructed the first histories, but we also need inventions from which a new leading history of new characters. In conclusion, Judge, we think that the prose wins the debate. Thank you.